Yo, 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 yo. Finally, week 6, and we are in here doing a video. Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
We're here with JJ doing a late night stream. We're going to start talking about the divisions, matchups, injuries, and what the hell is going on in this crazy ass week, right, me, JJ?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's kick it off with Division 1. There's some crazy things going on there, some crazy trades as well that are happening. We're trying to find out who is going to be the king of the crop.
So
Let's
tell
start
us
off
right
with
now, who is on top of Division One, Julian? Who's at first place right now?
so we got actually talking about that as soon as I opened up the app. It's Nacho, which is oh my god, why did I forget your name?
Andres.
Andres. Oh my god, I had a brain fart. So it's Andres against me. We're both on the top. We're both in first place. And actually, that's the first matchup that we're gonna talk about. So Nacho 915 against Field of Dreams. We got a pretty good matchup going on along there. Projected 123 points for Nacho. Field of Dreams 131 points. I'm super super happy that Austin Eckler is back, bro. Like
Austin
you don't
Eckler,
even I'm
a
so freaking
huge
excited.
part of fantasy. There's a lot of players, a lot of teams that were waiting for Eckler to return. And just what we saw from Dallas, I think Eckler's going to eat up
I
heavy.
I really 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 hope so.
And
Cuz
another reason I want to say that too is because Dallas just lost their middle linebacker in Van Der Esch. So now that's the big guy that stops a running back, and that's in Eckler's case. So I don't know.
big game, hopefully big game. Hopefully the Chargers can do the running game. They can make the running game open and just run Eckler back to the house all the time.
I
Give me all those
actually
points.
let me stop right there, Julian. I actually think even if the run game isn't established, I think Eckler still gets a lot of touches. I still think he gets those checkdowns. He gets those five and outs. I still see Eckler putting up at least 20 points against this Dallas defense.
Oh yeah, definitely. He like you say, even if they're not running the ball with him down the middle, he still gets touches on the passing game. Those quick outs, those quick checkdowns. Herbert is actually always looking towards him. So
Correct.
I'm hoping for a big performance for him this game. So we'll see how it goes. The guy that scares me a little bit uh, from Andres' team is Tony Pollard, just because the Chargers suck at stopping the run game as well. So I don't know. He scares me a little bit. We'll see how
I'll,
that goes.
I'll correct you on that. The Chargers suck at defense in general. So yes, that is something to be fearful of. And another thing that you really should be fearful of is Stephon Diggs going against that Giants secondary. The
Yep.
Giants haven't stopped jack shit this season. So you got to watch
Yep.
out for that because Stephon Diggs could go in and put some points. And actually, now I'm going to talk on that too. Kyron Williams, a surprise in fantasy this year, balling out like crazy. He didn't have a good game because obviously he played against the Eagles' rush
Yeah.
defense, which is one of the top five rush defense in the NFL right now. But he gets a better matchup against the Cardinals, so I can see him redeeming himself and getting at least a solid 16 points on that
The
Arizona.
one dude touching on that, like last year, you didn't even know the the Rams had a run game because it was all Cup. You know what I mean? It was Cup, 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 Cup. Like that was it. Cup goes down. They have to find other resources to move the ball.
Correct?
Bam. Running backs emerge and he gets the best out of it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's a good gem that he got there right there with that pickup.
Yeah. Another guy that's been surprising this year, and he's a top 15 running back, is Isaiah Pacheco. And he goes against a Denver team that's just gone to shit this year. I think they lose all their players. I think
Yep.
everyone's gonna win out. It's just been organization's just been terrible. I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah, it's been terrible. And honestly, last year I picked up Pacheco at the end at the I don't know, it was at one of the late rounds, bro. And I remember I was like, oh, this guy is gonna beat Clyde Edwards Hilaire. Sure enough, he beat him, but not until like kind of the end of the season.
Yeah,
But
to
then
the
again,
playoffs.
Kansas City's a passing offense, so they don't use the run game a lot. But this year, they've changed that, and Pacheco has been a big impact on that run game.
Yes.
He's been
So
doing a
I could
good.
say right here, these last three games for Isaiah Pacheco, he's getting 15 carries, 20 carries, 16 carries. This man is averaging about 17 carries a game. They're giving him the ball in his hands. Kansas City are going from that passing, throwing it all in the air. They're giving it to this guy right here because this guy's a freaking maniac.
So do you think that that is due because they have bigger leads in the game, or it's just that they want to involve the run game a little more, change it up from being that
My personal
passing?
opinion, I feel like their passing game is not as good as it was previous years.
Yeah,
I would say, even though TikTok boy left, it did leave an impact on their receiver core.
that's true.
So they obviously, when you look at who Mahomes is gonna pass it to, shit, Kelsey.
Yep,
Everyone knows that. Everyone's gonna plan on that. But half the time they can stop him, half the time they can't. So what are you gonna do? What Kansas City normally doesn't do? Run the ball. They have a great O line to help out establish the run. So hey,
exactly.
as long as Pacheco's getting those points, run it in.
Bro, so one last thing before we move away from this matchup. So a sneaky waiver wire pickup that I got a couple weeks back. I think it was like September like 20 something like that. But Team Jurado had drafted David Montgomery. So
Mm,
they draft David Montgomery, right? I mean, they pick up David Montgomery, the Lions pick him up, they draft Jamar Gibbs, and now we're like, what the hell is gonna happen here? You pay David Montgomery for 3 years, what was it, 18 million?
yep,
You pick up Jamar Gibbs in the first round. What the hell is going to happen there? You think Jamar Gibbs is going to be the one that's going because it's a high round pick, But
correct.
then you're paying David Montgomery. So what happens there? Whatever. They start running the ball. Whatever. David Montgomery goes down. Jurado decides to drop this man because he's like, all right, well, he's done. Jamar is going to be Jamar's Gibbs time to shine. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give David Montgomery a shot. So I picked him up while he was hurt, and I didn't think I was gonna get him because I haven't been getting crap, dude. Like every single waiver wire pickup, like everything gets it's so dry, dude. So I don't know how I lucked out. I get David Montgomery, and dude, he's been balling for me. Like he is an animal.
Crazy. The Lions offense in general
Mm-hmm.
has just been
Yep.
crazy. And speak of the Lions offense, because I see you also have another player from Detroit. You also have St. Brown returning.
Oh yeah.
He's been
Hopefully, dude.
lifting up. Hopefully he does good, and he has a great matchup in Tampa. I think that's going to be a shootout right there, if you
Yep.
ask me.
So honestly, dude, I'm a little questionable about him because it's in the abdomen area. So they're saying that it might be a hernia. Hopefully not. So I've been trying to track the practices, see if he's practicing or not. But they're saying that it might be a hernia. So I'm hoping that he dodges the bullet and that it's not that. Because if it's the hernia, then it requires surgery. Then pues, he's gonna
Done.
be out for a couple of weeks, or
Yeah.
basically done, like you say.
Hmm.
So man, I'm just trying to figure that out, dude. Hopefully it works in my favor because I don't need none of that
Yeah.
negativity. Anyways, next matchup. So it's who's your daddy against Team Barcelou. So we got JJ against Jacob. We're right here on this matchup. We got
The
oh,
former
real quick,
champs.
real quick, real quick. Going back to the other matchup. Who do you think is gonna win? You think Andres is gonna win, or you think I'm gonna win?
So I am going to say it like this. I really believe your matchup is going to win.
Yeah,
Right now, the reason why I say that, and yes, don't get me wrong, matchup 915. You have great players in Pollard, Williams, and Diggs. Those three will give you solid points along
yep.
with Pacheco. But I just see Justin Fields running all over Minnesota's defense. He's not going to.
I hope so, dude.
Minnesota's tanking this year, in my opinion, for Caleb Williams. Justin Jefferson, he's shut down for the rest of the year, I think, personally.
Yeah,
Eckler coming back for Dallas, and Dallas just put up that shit show. I think Eckler's gonna have a big game. Travis Etienne, they have been feeding this man.
yeah,
They
dude.
are giving him the ball. They are giving him receptions. Travis Etienne, this guy, he's coming to play. So you have that. You have St. Brown if he returns. That is
Yep.
crazy. Pittman's a little iffy because Richardson got hurt, so I want to
Yeah,
see how his relationship with Minshew goes. But then you have fucking Hawkinson. I just said it. Justin Jefferson's on IR. So who's Kirk Cousins going to throw to first? Hawkinson. He's going to be right there. He is going to be feeding. High prediction Hawkinson's going to have Travis Kelsey numbers.
bro.
He's going to
Please
have
mark that
big,
into
big,
existence.
big numbers. That's what I believe. And then, like you just said before, David Montgomery. He's a great guy. He's been putting a lot of points. Can he run
Mhm.
over Tampa's rush defense, we'll see about
We'll
that. But
see,
I
dude.
really see your team coming out victorious.
I hope so, brother. I hope so. All right, sorry for the interruption, but was like we were saying, we go against JJ against Jacob. What do we got there, bro? Talk to me. Talk to me.
So, this one, former co-champs of last season, it is a 50-50, with Who's Your Daddy projected 116.4 points and Team Barcelona 117.5. So 1.1 point projected difference. Team Barcelona with the advantage. What am I going to say? Huge loss, by the way. Like I said, we just said it earlier. Huge loss to Justin Jefferson. He's out for a minimum of 4 games. I really think he's going to be out for a lot more than 4 games. I
Yep.
really believe so. So that's a huge loss for him. But great thing for him that he was having quarterback issues. Joe Shiesty is coming back into form. Had a
Finally.
great game. Beautiful game. 23 points for Joe Burrow. And he goes against Seattle. So I would like to see that. I think he's going to have a great matchup. Josh Jacobs against New England's defense. That I do not. I'm actually iffy
I
about.
don't know, dude.
I have
Yeah.
no clue because we knew the Packers were having issues with the rush defense, and they're giving up a lot of points. The
Yeah.
Packers
On
defense
the
to
run
running
game.
backs. New England, I really don't know. I mean, they're don't get me wrong, their defense is great. It's just their offense that shit. So I have
Hmm.
no clue about that. DeAndre Swift has been amazing this year as an
Yeah.
Eagle fan and just as a fantasy owner. He's been a guy that's been great to pick up and everything, but he does play the Jets defense. That's probably the
That's
Jets
a tough
defense and
matchup, dude.
Eagles defense. They're neck and neck right there for best
Yeah.
rush defense. He's gonna have to get a reception, and I feel like if he's gonna get his points out of that one.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin. I think Godwin's actually been on a slower start than usual this year. I don't think he really gets the connections that he used to have when he had Tom Brady. But last game, before the bye, he actually had 11 targets. He got 8 catches for 114 yards, 19 fantasy points. So could we see something again against this Detroit? Possibly. Anything is possible. Like I said, I think this is going to be a shootout game.
Yep. Definitely. I agree with you on that. We'll see if Joe Burrow decides to show up against Seattle. We'll see
Yeah,
that. That's gonna be a decision maker. That and then who was it? Oh, over here on your side, JJ. De Mercado for Arizona. I know you picked him up on waivers, but James Conner is out. Did he get put on IR?
he got put on
He
IR. So
did, right?
James
So
Conner's out for 4 games at
it's De
least.
Mercado and then it's Ingram, right? That are on the
Well,
one
yes,
and two.
but Andres did post on right now on the Arizona running back list on the depth chart. They actually have Ingram listed as the number 1 right now.
Oh wow.
So I right now have them at right there because my other 2 running backs, well, 3 technically. James Conner, he's on IR. Aaron Jones, he's on his
Oh my
bye, and
god.
Miles Sanders is currently facing injury. He was already having a groin issue, and now he's facing a shoulder injury. So I really don't know, and it's a beautiful matchup because Miami's been
Yeah.
terrible against the run. So we'll
You know
see.
what, dude? if if these three guys work for you, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, and Laporta, if they come in like Superman and they clutch it up like they've been these past couple weeks, you're taking the dub.
Well,
If they don't show up, it's gonna be
here's the
tough.
thing. AJ Brown's gonna have a really hard matchup. AJ Brown will be matched up with Sauce Gardner.
Yeah,
I will predict that Devontae
yeah,
Smith will be. I feel like Devontae will have the bigger game than AJ Brown. If AJ
yeah,
Brown can pass Sauce Gardner, then hey, that he's a top 5 receiver in the game. But as far as I'm a big fan of Sauce Gardner, and I feel like he has a solid chance of locking down AJ Brown.
yeah.
As far as Tyreek Hill, I really see Tyreek Hill having just another monster game,
Dominating as
dominating
per
game.
usual.
Laporta, he has been amazing as a rookie. This is a rookie tight end, and he
Yep,
is the number 1 tight end in fantasy football. Would you believe that? A rookie over Kelsey, over Hawkinson, these
yep.
over Mark Andrews. He is
He's
number 1
eating,
at
bro.
the moment. He's
And
eating.
and you know what? If for whatever reason Amon-Ra St. Brown sits out, he's feasting for sure, dude.
He,
He's gonna feast.
he's gonna feast. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Yes. Who else do I have?
Uh
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, dude, that's scary, dude. Anybody on the Dallas offense is just Garbaggio. Garbaggio.
So my opinion is this: I don't think
Oh
like
man.
in reality, CD is a great receiver. Obviously,
Yeah,
the previous seasons he was amazing in fantasy football. The thing
exactly.
is, Dallas doesn't give the ball to him. It's
Yeah,
your number one playmaker, your number one draft pick. You don't feed
exactly.
him. You need to feed the guy. He's due for
Yeah.
a contract.
And here's the thing, bro. They're amazing players, but for fantasy purposes, right now, they're not it.
Not
They're not
it.
it. Who's
If
at fault here? Is it the offensive coordinator? Is it the head coach? What's going on in Dallas? Or is it Dak Prescott?
some of the decisions that Dak probably made during the 49ers games, he could have been different, but I think it's a component of everybody. Everyone's been making mistakes on that part because
Yeah,
Dak is not the one calling the plays. I see that. It's
that's true.
McCarthy right now. McCarthy's the one
Yeah,
calling the plays. And when he's calling these plays, he's a lot more conservative. The Dallas offense is a lot more conservative than what we've seen from previous seasons, in my opinion. Because before
yeah.
they were dropping points like crazy because of their offense, not because of their defense. As we've seen
Hmm.
this year, the reason why Dallas are scoring a lot of points is when their defense scores points. When their
Yeah,
defense
they were
doesn't score
dominating.
points, they do not dominate.
It wasn't really the offense that was scoring them. It was the defense that was helping
No?
them, giving
And
them a
look,
huge help, dude.
prime examples. Look at the Giants game and look at the Patriots game.
Hmm. Exactly.
Exactly that. And
Exactly.
then, like I said, referring back to CD Lamb, look at these. Besides week 2 and week 3, when he had 13 and 7 targets, in week 1, he only had 4 targets, but that was the game script, so we already knew that. And
Yeah.
then New England, 6 targets. And then when you needed your man the most against probably the best team in the NFL right now, you only give him 5 targets. You need to give it to him.
Yeah.
You can play
Make
him as an X receiver. You could play as the Y. You can play him as a slot. Put him
yeah.
anywhere. You can do different routes. He's a great receiver. He's a Cowboys and an OU receiver, and I'm a
Yeah.
Texas and Philly fan. And I don't like those organizations, but I'm a big fan of CeeDee Lamb because he has the talent. But I
He
really think
does.
Dallas is just wasting him.
Hey, and last thing, that Kansas City defense, dude, I think they might feast against Denver and Russell.
So the good thing about it is that their best linebacker, Nick Bolton's finally returning after 3 games,
Yeah.
and that's a huge help on their defense. Huge help. This is the man that sacked fumbled Jalen Hurts and returned it for a touchdown in the Super Bowl last year. So I really believe this is my Kansas City defense is really gonna help clutch up this week. So we will see. I do like having my kicker actually. The reason why I'm saying that is because Tennessee Titans are having issues in the red zone. That's the same thing
Mm,
as Dallas, same thing as Philadelphia as well. We're all having issues on the offense on the red zone. So what do they do when it's already 3rd and 11? We don't convert. Send out the kicker.
and the kicker.
Send the kicker.
So, real quick, bro, talking about prediction, I do think, like I tell you, if AJ Brown dominates over Gardner, if Tyreek Hill, he's gonna show up, right? But if Laporta can back up, you will win this matchup. I'm iffy about the Mercado, but honestly, who else are you gonna pick up? There's nobody on the waivers.
No one.
There's nobody, dude.
And
There's it's
that's what happens
trash.
when you're in a 12-man league.
Yeah, it's trash. So that's your best bet. That's your best man on your roster. That's the best man on the waivers. Whatever it is, what it is, throw him in there. Maybe he'll show up, right? We'll see.
Yeah,
But
you
I
see?
do think those three guys show up. Those guys put in their work. They get fed the ball. You're gonna win this matchup.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, man.
All right.
And good luck to you,
Next
Jacob.
Next matchup, we got Dirty Landry against Trucker Gang. So we got Marco against Freddy. This is a matchup of both teams being 3-2. They're both in third place. Marco makes some trades in the earlier on this season. For some odd reason, Luis decides to trade three of his dudes for one for Bijan.
No, get me
And
wrong, Bijan's a great running back,
yeah, he
but
has no disrespect.
no disrespect, Bijan's the best running back not named Christian McCaffrey, in my
Uh
opinion.
huh. And you know what, dude? I was talking to before the recording. I was talking to JJ about this, and I was telling him how fantasy football it's a game of chess. What moves are you gonna make? What moves are gonna happen? And what moves are we gonna allow for that week? And before that trade happened, Luis was in first place, right? Dirty Landry Marco was trying to fight his way up there on the rankings. So when Luis when Luis decides to send that trade offer, it's a ticking time bomb, you know. And if he wants to self destruct himself, go for it. We're gonna let you because you're in first place and you want to set off that bomb. Go downhill, dude. We're gonna watch you from here.
And
And now,
what didn't make sense to me about Luis was that in the draft, after we finished drafting, he said it himself. This was the best draft I've ever had.
yep.
If it was the best draft you ever had, why the fuck did you trade away your player? That does make no sense to me whatsoever.
Oh
So you went
god.
from possibly winning out $900 to buying yourself a sex doll and taking it out on an expensive ass date.
I
No.
dude, I think he really wanted to go to he really wants to go out to dinner with that doll, to be honest, if I'm being quite honest with you. You trade the quarterback in a high flaming offense, you know? Speedy offense where they're just like chugging the ball and they do it all.
Yep.
And then you give him Jamar Chase, which you have to understand, Barrow was hurt. You need to give him a couple weeks till he gets his health back. And then, as we saw last week, they're back. He's dropping back with confidence. He's airing out the ball. And look, Jamar Chase is back. You know what I mean? It took him a couple of weeks, but I think they're back. And
I
then who
feel
else did he throw up in that trade, dude?
Gibbs, but Gibbs is
Gibbs,
riding
yes.
Marco's bench right now, so
And that situation is messy. Like we were talking right now, is it David Montgomery? Is it Gibbs? Who are you doing right now? The hot hand is Montgomery, so
yeah.
that's what they're doing. On Trucker Gang side, we got Barkley. Hopefully, he finally plays. We'll see about that. And then
He has
who
Mostert,
else is
and right now, Achan is currently on
there?
IR too right now. So Mostert, well, depends if how much workload they give Jeff Wilson. Then we
Yeah,
give Jeff Wilson a lot of workload. Shit, Mostert's gonna be popping in some points for sure.
and then with oh my god, with Justin with Jefferson being out, then Addison, like you say, primary targets might go to Hawkinson, but then Addison is gonna feast too. Being a rookie, he's putting up pretty good
Oh,
numbers.
yeah, correct, correct. Debo is kind of like he's. I feel like he's not consistent in fantasy.
Yeah,
The only thing.
yeah, he's not. And
30 wide
DJ Moore, dude.
receivers,
What about DJ Moore? It's gonna be a roll of dice, you know, like
a roll
with
dice.
the Chicago
What?
Bears, bro. It's always a rolling of the dice.
What? I don't think there's going to be a roll of dice. I think this is another game that Chicago is going to take the opportunity and say,
Oh
hey,
man,
we're playing a shit defense. This is a divisional game. This is a must
yeah,
win game. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give it to my number one guy, DJ Moore.
that's true. And I think he finally unlocked that dude. Or I don't know if freaking Luke Getzky finally was like, oh yeah, we throw to DJ Moore and allow him to make plays. Maybe it'll work. I don't know what took them so long, but I'm glad that he's finally feeding the ball to him. I'm so happy. And
Only
last thing
Dallas
is,
did that with CD.
God, imagine. Hey, the only thing is, what do you think about Josh Allen going against? Oh no, they're going against the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Oh, yeah. Josh
Oh man, he's
Allen,
gonna have a monster game
a
too.
fucking monster. Yeah. So I think if Barkley returns, I think Barkley's still getting at least 15 points because
Yeah,
what
they got
other
nobody.
player not named Darren Waller in that offense does any fucking good?
Oh man, there's
Give
nobody,
that
dude.
quarterback 86 million in guaranteed money and he pulls that shit.
Oh yeah, and then Daniel Jones is getting sacked like no other, bro. Like,
No
so
lie.
what is he gonna do? As soon as he has the line coming in for him, he's just gonna check it down to Barkley. There
Yep.
you go.
Because he doesn't have enough time to read a film.
Point per reception. There you go, right there.
Yeah. The
So I
people
do
are
think,
leaving.
yep, I do think that Trucker Gang takes this win. I do think so.
There we go.
All right. Going against the next matchup, which we got Big Money against your girl's favorite Barber. So,
Ooh.
talking about these two teams, we got Big Money Joseph being in sixth place, and then we got your girl's favorite. It's Jacob, right? Jacob's his name?
Yeah.
Jacob, he's 3-2. He's in third place. So, this is going to be a good battle. We're going to see if Joseph can step up and pick up from that loss he got last week and keep it going, or if Jacob decides to keep the ball rolling and keep winning. And honestly, dude, He has Jonathan Taylor back. He has Cooper Cup back. He rolled the dice by taking those two guys in the draft. And at one point, he was in the bottom of the league. You know, he was there trying to fight his way, just being patient, waiting for Cup to return, waiting to see what the hell was going on with the Jonathan Taylor situation. But Puka Nakua off the waivers picks him up, starts balling for him. And then he has McCaffrey, dude, which that guy is just a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. I would, man, that dude is a baller. So
I
this
don't
man is
see
stacked.
Joseph winning at all this matchup. Trevor Lawrence against the Colts. He should get ranging 15 to 20 points that
Yeah.
matchup. McCaffrey versus Cleveland. I want to say McCaffrey's probably in a range 15 to 25 points in that one.
And
Jonathan,
Cleveland is a
that's it.
good
But here's the thing:
defense.
when Jonathan Taylor returned last week, everyone plugged him in right into his lineups. But that just happened to be Zach Moss to be the leading running back in that
Yep.
offense. So we don't know right away if we're gonna slowly give him his reps, slowly bring him back to it, or this next game you already played one game, we're gonna
Yeah.
throw you back with the Lions. I have no clue what Jonathan Taylor is gonna produce. I say he's gonna produce between 7 to 14 points this matchup. I don't give him a ton of credit for that
Yeah,
because
no.
I still think Zach Moss is a factor, and Zach Moss has been doing great this year in the league and in fantasy. So
And Zach Moss can catch too, dude. So
that's the thing, yeah.
yeah.
And then you have the Rams receivers of Nakua and Cooper Cub. And Matthew Stafford is notoriously, since he's joined the Rams, he is notoriously well for going against the Cardinals. So I feel like Cooper Cup is going to have a big monster
Oh
game.
yeah.
Nakua is going to have a big game. Both of them, 15 to 20 points right there.
Oh yeah. They're gonna roll over Arizona, that's for sure. And then he has Mark Andrews still, dude, as a tight end. Like this man is stacked.
This man is stacked. He is stacked. But the thing is, I watched Sunday the Ravens against the Steelers, and I think the Ravens, their skill players in general, have a chance to score from 15 to possibly 30 points. They just need to learn how to catch the ball.
True. That is true.
Hmm.
That is true. I wanted to talk about a little bit about a trade, dude, that got vetoed this earlier this week between it was Luis and Jacob, right?
Okay.
So we got who was it? It was let me check the matchup real quick. But the players that they were gonna trade, it was ay canijos, Bijan Robinson from Luis, right?
Okay.
And then you got Jacob offering him Amari Cooper, Rashad White, and Samaji Pirine. So sure enough, dude, I wake up and I see this trade and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And why the fuck did Luisa like accept this trade? First of all, you got Amari Cooper, which there's no Deshaun Watson there, right?
There's not right
So
now. Yep.
there's what value is that? Right now, if you want to wait and you want to be patient, okay, cool. It's cool. And even at that, he's not really an elite receiver. And then you got Rashad White, who is trash, dude. He's straight up no bueno. He's
Rashad
no
White.
bueno.
So my only complaint of that was Amari Cooper and Samaje Perine. I thought Rashad White, he has a chance to actually have a much better chance than what he originally did because when he played his one soft team in
Yeah,
Chicago, he was able to
yeah,
drop 21 points. But then you
exactly.
have tough matchups against the Eagles, which is really hard to run through, and then the Saints defense, which he only got 7.2 and 10.8. So I think Rashad White had a little rough matchup, but now he goes against a Detroit defense. They don't contain the run that well. You have the Falcons, you have Buffalo, you have Houston. These next four matchups, I can see Rashad White pulling in 15 to 22 points in these matchups. I thought that Rashad White was actually the decent player out of it because when I put in my complaint, I complained about P Ryan because P Ryan wasn't seeing shit.
Bro, he picked that guy off the waivers. It's like,
Yes,
dude.
yes, P Ryan we know is not shit. We
Yeah.
know Amari Cooper is a receiver one in Cleveland, but without
Uh-huh.
Deshaun Watson, he is not receiver one. He
There's
had
no value.
2.6 fantasy points when Deshaun Watson did not play. So he is not going to generate you any points.
Yep.
And Rashad, like I said,
Exactly.
Rashad White, I did not complain about him because he was on a tough defense play or matchup. But now that he gets a lighter matchup, I do see Rashad White pulling in 15 to 20 points these upcoming
Yeah.
weeks.
And then you know what? Just like what we were talking about, how this is a chess game. It's a chess game. When it involves money, dude. You're gonna make the moves that benefit you the most.
Correct.
Even if you get mad.
Yeah.
So here we got a team that is stacked, right? In Jacob's team, Jonathan Taylor, McCaffrey, Cooper Cup, Nakua, etc. You can already see on the team there, and you're gonna go ahead and add on that trade. You're gonna get Bijan Robinson, which means you take out Myers and you add Bijan. And holy smoke, dude, you're gonna be you're gonna be fully decked out to win the trophy. So this time around, I don't know what the hell Luis was thinking. He really wants to go on a date with that blow up doll or something. But
Like I honestly, I would have had to accepted the trade, said it was
yeah,
okay, had he threw in or he took out Piran from that trade, and he threw in Garrett Wilson. Then you have
okay.
Amari Cooper, Rashad White, Garrett Wilson for Bijan.
Or even you know what, dude? Throw in Nakua and throw in Rashad White. I'm even down for that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm down for that. But here's the thing. Here's where I put in the chess piece. I'm like, okay, it's a team that's stacked.
It's
He
not
is getting even more stacked. He's climbing up that ladder. He's in, what do we say? He's in third place, right?
correct.
And he's about to get even more stronger. And Luis is already he's in the bottom, dude. He's not gonna gain anything with being in last place with those players. He's gonna stay in last place if anything. So being strategic and not letting that team get stronger, I don't want him to get stronger. So veto, in my opinion. Even Joseph said it himself. I play you this week, and I'm not gonna let you get him. So I'm vetoing too. Hey, it's it goes week by week. If let's say if it was the other way, and Luis was getting Bijan for those crappy players, then all right, let him have it. Let his team be competitive.
Yeah.
But since his team is already competitive, might as well give you the money and the trophy, which we're not gonna let that happen.
No. And they've
We saw
seen
that
it
last year, dude. We saw it last year.
with Marco.
Yep, with Marco. So I'm like, we're not gonna let it happen again.
No, no,
It's
no.
a game of chess.
You know,
Anyways, with that being said, Jacob's taking this matchup, dude. He's
Jacob.
getting the win. He's gonna roll through it.
Yep. Agreed.
Moving on, we got
Come
Team
on.
Jurado and yeah, come on. So these two teams in sixth place, dude. They're fighting to get in there. They're fighting to get out of sixth place and hopefully place individually higher.
Yeah.
But how do their teams look? Let's see.
So let's see. We have Team Jurado projected 115. We have Yacaman projected 109.6, a 52 to 48 ratio. So it's going to be somewhat kind of close. I really, really like Jurado in this matchup right
Yeah,
here. We have Jalen Hurts, who's just been fucking consistent in everything. He's that guy. If the Eagles on their 1 yard line, you already know
yeah,
who's scoring that touchdown. That's 6.1 points already to Jalen Hurts. So we already know Jalen Hurts is Mr. Brotherly Shove, but by all means, go Eagles. But I love that. Then we have Brees Hall. Brees Hall finally popped off. The
yep,
unfortunate part, he plays against the Eagles defense. I do not see Brees Hall going over 14 points this matchup unless he gets a lot of receptions.
yeah,
If he gets the receptions and yards after carry, then okay, he can probably bump it up to 20. Other than that, I really see this as a tough matchup for Brees Hall. Then we have Brian Robinson. He started off okay and he dipped a little bit, but he's still ranked 14th in running backs right now in fantasy. He
mhm,
goes against Atlanta. Last matchup, Chicago took a very, very early lead, killed everything of what Brian Robinson does, which is run the
mhm,
ball heavy, give him
yeah,
those carries. So if Washington keep it close with Atlanta, which I really think they do, and take the lead, I think Brian Robinson could have a 15 to 20 point game. Now, Ooh, Josh would love this. His man of last year's pick, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen saw that Josh had faith in him last year, and he said, "Let me fuck Josh over that year, and let me resurrect this year."
Oh,
Adam Thielen has been freaking amazing. I cannot believe what Adam Thielen points is pulling in, and I actually traded away Adam Thielen. That was a bummer, but it's all right. He's ranked
hey,
10th
do
in
do
fantasy.
you think that he's gonna establish his role as a receiver one? You know how Carolina was like, we're
Yeah,
trying to
he already
trade
established that. DJ
whatever.
Chark has nowhere close. Jonathan Ringo coming close.
Mingo.
Marshall Jr. comes nowhere close.
Yeah,
It's Adam Thielen time over there in Carolina.
yeah, that's true. I agree with you on that.
Another man that I traded away with Huaralo in earlier trades, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk turned out that one quiet game in game week one. Rest of the game, he's getting more targets. He's getting more points than Calvin Ridley. He's
Yep.
still receiver one in Jacksonville. People wrote him off just because Ridley came to Jacksonville. He's doing pretty solid in the
Yeah,
slot.
but it's because they're locking up Ridley. So who they're gonna go to? Kirk.
Kirk. So he's doing good. One man that finally popped off last week, Dalton Schultz. He finally went off last week. If I'm mistaken, he got a lot of targets. Yeah, he had 10 targets, 7 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. So that's back to back weeks right there with touchdown
Mm.
from Dalton Schultz. So he might be back on the radar for tight ends. So he has
Yo,
a good matchup
CJ
against
Stroud
CJ Stroud.
is looking good. Yeah, he's looking
He
good. If he keeps
plays
moving the ball like that, Nico Collins, the Schultz, who is
Tank
it? Tank
Dell.
Dell. Man,
Guys
those
can
guys are gonna keep eating.
And now looking back at it, look who Jurado also has on his team, Calvin Ridley. We just talked about him. I don't. I see that he has Mike Evans on his bench. If Mike Evans is good to go, I say take Calvin Ridley off your starting lineup.
Yeah.
Insert Mike Evans because Mike Evans has been amazing. Besides
Hmm.
against the Saints, because we know what's Mike Evans' kryptonite. LaShawn Lattimore. He's not gonna do anything. He might throw
Yep.
it at him, but LaShawn Lattimore is gonna lock him down. But he goes against Detroit. I see Mike Evans, if healthy and ready to go, getting at least
Put him in
I
there.
say 20 to 25 points.
Yeah. Yeah. Put
Big
him in there.
matchup.
How about on Yakamon side? We got Patrick Mahomes. I
Patrick
mean,
Mahomes,
we don't even have to talk about him, dude.
yeah,
We know the
Patrick
dude's gonna
Mahomes, yeah.
ball out against Denver.
Yep,
They're gonna just ball out. No matter who's the receiver, no matter if Kelsey plays or not, he's gonna ball out no matter what.
correct.
Now on the iffy side, Derrick Henry, dude. I feel like his time is up.
Derrick Henry's time is up.
Tajay Spears, he's upcoming. He looks explosive. He is even out snapping him in some of the games.
Yep, yep.
So I really do think that he'll still produce points, but I think
Not
his
as
time is up.
dominant as before.
Yeah, I think his time is up.
Time is up.
Unfortunately,
Yes. And then he has Cam Akers, who's not even winning the backfield against Alexander Madison.
that is just a crapshoot, dude.
Cam Akers just fell off terribly, so I don't see
Yeah,
that. But like I talked about previously with my roster, and the man that I think is gonna have a better game than AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. People wrote
yep.
him off. He's been having crappy last two past games, but I think Devontae's matchup on his corner against DJ Reed is gonna give him that advantage, and he's gonna show why he's the skinny Batman. He's gonna go in, and I say Devontae has a 15 to 25 point game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Hey, how about Curtis Samuel? I honestly think that Washington is gonna struggle throwing the ball because Atlanta has a good secondary. So I do feel like all of the Washington receivers, yeah, you might have one with the majority of the fantasy points, but I do think they're gonna struggle throwing the ball.
So I'm actually going to counter that, and I think because we saw right before Tank Dell went off
Mm,
with the concussion in the first half,
hmm.
he was getting receptions, he was getting those catches, he was getting those
Yeah,
yards in the middle. What is Curtis Samuel? A slot receiver. What is
yeah,
most majority of his routes? Going to be in the middle.
true.
I see Curtis
That's
Samuel
true.
I have a high prediction this year. I think Curtis Samuel is going to be the number one fantasy receiver
I
in
agree.
Washington. I don't
Yeah,
think it's
I
Scary
agree.
Terry's time. I don't think it's Dotson's time. I think it's Curtis Samuel's time. I give me Curtis Samuel 15 to 20 points this matchup.
Damn, we'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
see.
I do feel like you say if there's a receiver that's gonna thrive, it'll be Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel.
But other than that, the other ones are gonna get locked up. And you gotta put into comparison CJ Stroud against Howell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That O line for the Redskins, dude. If the Bears were slobbering all over them, dude, and I tell you, me being a Bears fan, the D line is not good, and they were able to get to him.
Yep.
So who knows? Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Dallas Goddard coming up. Dallas Goddard finally had a great game as an Eagle. Finally, a great game.
Finally,
Do I think he stays consistent? I don't think so. I don't think so. I still think he could drop 10 to 15 points this upcoming matchup because the corners are good for the Jets. He sneaks in. I think he gets 10 to 15 points, but he's not going
yeah,
to pop off like last game.
yeah, no,
And then right below that, he has T. Higgins. We don't know if T. Higgins gonna be healthy or not. And T.
rib
Higgins is
injury,
not
dude.
getting his injuries. This is his contract year. He needs to be proving to himself that hey, I'm here with Jamar. He had that one great game week 2 when he had 12 targets for 8 catches, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But after that, not really much. And like I said, he's been
Hmm.
hurt, so I don't know if he get to go. He does have a good matchup against Seattle, and I know they're gonna pay a lot of attention to Jamar. So if
Yeah,
T Higgins can get everything healthy, get set, ready to go. Joe Burrows is on his A game. T Higgins can have a reasonable 15 to 20 points.
yeah. I say 10 to 15. So
Yeah,
it's a good flex spot. In
yeah.
all honesty, I do think that this game will Team Jurado is gonna win it, dude. Like you say, Jalen Hurts, Brees Hall might struggle with the Philly defense, but he'll still get you some points, you know. But you got Thielen and Kirk. I think that's enough to with those three guys to put you up to a good spot.
Yeah. Team Jurado.
All right, last matchup for Division One, we
Last but
got
not least,
LA Spirit against Team Boss. So we got Luis. Who's Team Boss again, bro?
that is Jose.
Jose. So
Jose
we
del
got Luis against
Bosque.
Jose. So man, what an adventure has it been for Luis, man. What a roller coaster ride.
Our favorite
He,
topic, our favorite man.
he said it's lonely up here, so he dropped himself from the 20th floor all the way down.
To the first,
Oh my god, man.
oh,
Man, I don't
LA
even
Spirits Luis Vargas is projected 85.5 points this week.
he does have two players on bye. Najee Harris and Calvin Austin. So per se he puts
Zach
Zach
Moss,
Moss and DK.
DK.
Yeah,
So
right?
let me see that. If DK suits out, he is projected about 13 points. So 85, 13 will have 98 right there. You throw in Zach Moss, who's
108,
yeah, 108.
109.
So 108 to 121. It looks like Jose's
God.
still going to be dominant. CJ Stroud, but he is facing the Saints defense, and Saints just put a dominant performance against the Patriots offense. The
Mm-hmm.
return of Kamara. Kamara is still that number one guy in New Orleans. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you have Michael Thomas. Doesn't matter if you have Olave. Who's going to get the majority of the ball? I think it's going to be Kamara. Kamara, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is going to have an amazing game versus Houston. I project Kamara might even pass 25 points this upcoming game.
Ay, canijos, that's a yeah,
So,
that's a big
huge
game.
prediction, yes. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's kind of been on a steady climb. I don't really see him pulling in a lot of points. He's been averaging 13 to 14 points. I
Yeah.
still see him averaging 13 to 14 points unless they can establish the run game.
And you know what, dude? The big thing is that last year they had Joe Mixon in the red zone, and he was scheduled to score one touchdown every time in the red zone. But the
Mhm.
thing is, since Joe Barrow has been struggling with that injury, they haven't been really getting into the red zone, you know. So
Yeah.
most of those touchdowns, I don't know. I don't know where they're passing them because they can't establish the run since they get to Joe Burrow quickly. So
Yeah. Next up, Olave. Olave had a hot start. He was getting 19, 14, and 18 points in these first three matchups. The last two matchups, 1.4 and 9.2 points. Olave has dropped a lot. What am I going to say now about that? Because we do have to emphasize Derek Carr's injury and not him being 100%.
mhm.
But I will throw in someone is finally healthy. Mr. Let Me Run a Slant, Michael Thomas. Finally, I have seen him play more than 4 games in a row. That
God,
does take away a lot of Chris Olave's targets. I see Olave probably going with the projected points, 14.4 points, because I think this game is going to belong to Alvin Kamara
yeah, no, yeah, definitely. If they win the game, it's because Kamara's doing his thing.
thing.
That's
Correct.
true.
Then we know about the Swifty, Travis Kelsey. Nothing else to say. He is a little bit banged up right now, so we'll see if they keep on a snap count or not. But for the majority part, expect Kelsey to get 18 plus points. We'll
Yep.
put it like that.
He suits
He could
up. He's gonna play. He's gonna play good. That's all that matters.
boldy that this guy decides to put Dallas's defense against the Chargers. I think that's going to be a shootout game.
Yep. Is
I
he a
really,
Dallas fan?
I'm not sure to be honest.
No. He might be a
Not sure.
Dallas fan, bro.
Yeah, that's just
Because that's gonna be a shootout, like you say. Like the way
foolish.
Dallas is playing, nah, that's not gonna go good. That is not gonna
Yeah.
go good.
Remember how Dallas's offense was scoring a lot of points last season?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So their offensive coordinator is actually at the Chargers right now. So I really think this is going to be a high scoring game because Dallas's defense is hurt right now. They lost Van Der
Hmm.
Esch last game. They lost Diggs for the entire year, and you could tell that secondary is hurting without Diggs.
Oh yeah.
Bad, bad. It is hurting bad. And now it's going to the point where they're thin at linebacker. So who are they going to have to bring back to the linebacker spot? Micah. I think they're going to have to try to pull him back, and I don't think that's gonna
No, it's
give
not
Herbert
gonna
more
help.
time in the pocket if
Yeah.
Micah's not on that line.
So we'll see. Maybe he'll keep it. Maybe he'll move it. But hey, that's up to him, right?
Yeah,
Formerly, the records are Luis's record is 1-4, and you said Jose, right?
yeah.
Jose is 2-3, dude. So I mean, you win. If Luis somehow pulls the win, he goes 2-4, and then Jose goes 2-4, and now they're both in the bottom. You know what I mean? So it could be like a three-way tie for the bottom of the barrel
For the
if it
bottom.
goes if
Yeah.
Luis wins. You know?
I could be down there too if I lose my matchup.
God.
There's
So
actually a lot of 2-3s. I am 2-3. Team Jurado's 2-3. Team
yeah,
Jose or Team Boss is 2-3. Big Money's 2-3. Team Barcelona is 2-3. Yeah, come on's 2-3. Half of those teams are matching up against each other.
yep.
So
It's
some are
go- it's
gonna be two
it's
four.
gonna be a crapshoot, dude. It's gonna be a crapshoot of the week, but it definitely makes it really, really interesting. It
Yeah.
makes it interesting. That's what we like to see, you know. Nice, interesting matchups, week in, week out,
So I
competitive.
want to ask you before we move on to Division Two.
Yeah,
Who do you think takes Division One as of right now? Whose roster do you think is strong that it's gonna take it home?
I do feel like Jacob Uranga is gonna take that because he's just that dude everywhere. If it works to where his bye weeks work perfectly and he's not missing a lot of key players, even if he's missing key players, dude, he's gonna ball because there's a lot of threats that he has on his team. A lot of threats. I would say I would say that Andres would take it, but the fact that he has Tony Pollard and the way that Dallas is playing,
With Dak.
and then with Dak exactly, his his bench looks a little bit shaky. He doesn't have a lot of depth. So that's where his weakness comes in. So if I have to pick, it would be Jacob Uranga taking it. What about you?
So, if I would have to big hot take, ding ding ding, I think you take this.
Ah, shit.
I think, like you said, that pickup for David Montgomery was
Yeah,
huge. And the
yeah,
fact that you have Travis Etienne getting those touches,
yeah.
huge. And let's not forget, who do we just say is returning? Who
My
has Austin
boy.
Eckler? You have Austin Eckler. That is a nasty trio running back.
Yeah,
Eckler, Etienne, Montgomery. That is stacked. In my
I hope
opinion, that's
so,
a
bro.
stacked running back core. Who are
Yeah.
your receivers right now?
Amon St. Brown, and then Michael Pittman, Scary Terry. ¿Quién
So
más?
your receivers are a little bit,
It's
eh,
shaky.
but if the if you pull the leak, it's because your running backs are scoring a lot of points for you.
And you know who's bailed me out a lot of times, dude? Hawkinson too. Hawkinson has been sneaky
Hawkinson,
for
let's
me.
forget
Yeah,
Hawkinson there, especially with the injury to Justin Jefferson.
yeah.
Hawkinson's gonna put old Kelsey numbers, and let's not forget if someone starts to shine in Justin Fields, you have it, man.
Oh man. Let's see what happens, brother. So now moving on to Division Two. Let's see what we got over here for Division Two.
Division
Talk to me.
two. Whew. Is this a shit show over here too, or what? So it three, 1 and 4 teams.
Oh man.
That is a
Three of them?
three of them. We have Team Martinez, Joey. We have your Eddie, Eddie Torres, a big Chungus, Marco.
God.
That is terrible. But the difference between theirs and ours, they still have someone undefeated. Robert Contreras. Shouty with a chance of balls.
Five
Team
and zero, dude.
5-0.
You know what, bro? I stress out about being in first place because normally you come crashing down. Like a lot of the teams that go into the playoffs with the bye week and then they come back and then they just crap the table, dude. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. So I don't know. I don't know. It's scary to be undefeated.
So let's see this first matchup right now.
A ver.
I think right now I'm on your Eddie and Big Digs Tua balls. This is Eddie and Frank. Eddie's projected 129 points, while Frank's projected 116.6. It's a 55 to 45 ratio. Eddie finally coming off of a win, and he looks stacked.
Yeah, he does, dude.
He's
He does.
incredibly stacked.
He
He has
does.
Geno Smith going against the Bengals defense that could put him some few points, a 15 to 20 point right there. He has Eckler in this division, and you know how you feel about Eckler.
Yeah,
Big game right here. He has the same freaking running back. I just cannot believe I just saw it. He
yeah.
has the same running back as you. Eckler and Etienne. What did I just say? If you pull the league because of your running
Oh
backs.
man.
So he has that
Literally,
to start off
dude.
with running backs. He receiver
Damn.
Zay Flowers is the best receiver right now in Baltimore. So
In Baltimore.
he has Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup, dude. No
Cup.
manches.
He has Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's a top 10 tight end. Holy
Wow.
shit. He has DeAndre Swift. What in the world is this?
Oh
Philly
god.
defense, Dallas kicker. He has Logan Thomas
Wow.
on his bench. He has Stevenson. He has Amari St. Brown.
He has a Monroe St. Brown still?
Yes, on
Oh
his bench.
god.
He is stacked.
Dude, can we predict now and say that he's gonna be like the comeback team of the year?
I think Eddie has a high chance of being a
Yeah,
comeback for sure. That is a
definitely.
stacked
Wow.
roster right there. That
Wow.
is stacked beyond belief. That is
That's
stacked.
dude. Not only is he stacked at running back, but then he has Cooper Cup, Zay Flowers, and then Amon Ra casually sitting on the bench. That is crazy.
He has that. If Stevenson could pull it together, then he has another gem in a running
Yeah.
back. Yeah, Dobbs has actually been okay, decent at quarterback. He can help aid
Yeah.
when Geno Smith is on the bye. And right now,
Exactly.
when one of his quarterbacks I see that is on IR right now returns, Anthony Richardson's currently on IR. He will be gone for at least 4 weeks. But if he could get healthy towards the later of the season,
I'll be back for playoffs, bro.
he will have monster gains.
Yep.
Monster games. So we will
Wow.
see about that. Including I see right here, two of the last three teams that we would be in playoffs in would be against Atlanta and Vegas. That is
Wow.
huge. That
Yep.
is huge. If Richardson plays in those games, he will have big baller points for
Bro,
sure.
honestly, I don't even want to see Frank's roster. I think Eddie takes this win easily.
Easily.
Like, no disrespect, Frank, but dude, you can't deny that he's stacked. He's
It's
stacked.
absolutely stacked.
He's stacked. Yeah, let's
Stacked.
see on the other side for Frank. He has Tua, Montgomery, okay. McKinnon, nah, dude, that dude,
He's not getting
that's
anything.
bad. Yeah.
He has
Stephon
Diggs.
Diggs, yeah.
Diggs. CD's been Dallas offense. Mark
Mm-hmm.
Andrews is not too
Mm-hmm.
bad. Calvin Ridley,
Really?
okay.
Okay.
Let's see who's on his bench. We have Christian Watson. We have Gabe Davis. Okay, so a little bit kind of like on Jess's team with the two Buffalo receivers.
Yeah.
There's Jared Goff, so when Tua's not around, he can
Okay.
put him there. And then currently he has James Conner on IR. So
Oh man.
once James Conner returns, that will help out a bit of Frank's team. But I think right now, until CD Lamb fights his consistency, and if he wants to
Yeah.
put a matchup against Eddie's best, he doesn't stand a chance.
Dude, honestly, I don't know, but my gut is saying if I was in Frank's situation, I would probably throw in Gabe Davis in instead of CeeDee Lamb
You think
because
so?
because it's the Giants defense, dude.
That is
It's the
true.
Giants defense.
That is true. They have been
But
terrible.
not my team, not my player. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Anyways, I
I
think
think
Eddie
we
takes
can
this
both
win.
agree. Yep, Eddie takes his win in this matchup. All right. Moving on. We have last place. The guy who's gonna double date with Luis. Marco. Against Scotty with a chance of balls, another heavy contender in this division right here. And I can say right now the projection it's a 40 to 60, but here are the projection points. It is 105.5 to 132.2.
God,
Give me Robert any day of the season.
dude. Look at that, dude. Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. And then you throw in CJ Stroud as your quarterback.
With
Dude,
Josh Jacobs and Madison,
God, God, man.
he does Marco just let's see why Marco's so low. Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, of
Shit.
course.
Pacheco, that's a good running back. Decent,
Yeah.
good running back. Miles
Drake,
Sanders, he's
Drake
hurt.
London, dude.
Drake London, Christian Kirk, good running back. Jake
Yeah,
Ferguson, I think Jake Ferguson's probably underrated for his value.
he
He's
is.
pulling some points right there.
Elijah
Elijah
Moore.
Moore, not just
Nah,
10
dude.
points if you
No
will.
Deshaun Watson, dude. Like we said
John
with Amari
Watson.
Cooper.
Is there anyone? He has Brock Purdy on his bench. I wonder why he's not starting him over Dak Prescott. Demercado. He could possibly put in Demercado if Miles Sanders
For
doesn't get it.
Sanders.
Same situation as with me.
Oh man.
He has Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel can be a big boy player, even though
Honestly,
he's
bro,
projected.
uh, put London on the bench and put what's his name?
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel up in
Yeah,
the receiver spot. In
I
all
think
honesty,
so. That is, he has no depth, Marco.
oh,
Unfortunately,
man.
and I with a roster that I see like this, he's definitely going to be dressing up in a suit with Luis and his
Oh
second
yeah,
rounds.
you think Kansas City's gonna bail him out?
Kansas City, it's a possibility.
Oh god.
Oh no! But let's see with Roberts' bench. Let's see who else he has besides the starters. He has Aaron Jones. Hopefully, Aaron Jones gets
Mm.
back from that bye. He's healthy.
Replaces
He has,
Madison right there.
he has Deshaun Watson. And right now, I am using 80's account right now, and I just got an alert from Carlos Escalera. He said Cooper Cup and Brown for Justin Jefferson. What in
Cooper
the
Cup
world is
and
that?
Amon St. Brown for Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
What is no, bro?
What?
What in the world is he thinking? A guy who's possibly getting shut down early so he can tag for Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, I will let Eddie gladly decline that. And we're
Oh
gonna stay in Division
man.
One. But then
Jesus.
again, we let
Christ.
Marco fuck the shit out of Luis. So
Yep.
you know,
If he wants to self explode himself, let himself explode, bro.
yeah. Anyways, getting back to Robert's bench, he also has like Zach Moss, who's been pretty good. If he doesn't let Jonathan Taylor get those reps, it's
Yep.
going to be a great factor. And then he has Jordan Addison right now. So
Damn. So he has good depth, bro.
he has good depth. Yes, correct. He has great depth. So we'll see what he can do. He looks like a contender, definitely to someone to
Yeah,
match up with Eddie. If there was someone to
definitely.
go neck and neck, there we go.
So, hey, so can we say this could possibly be like a preview to
The final
maybe like a championship week? Yeah.
championship, possibly, possibly. Let's get over to the other teams first and see
Let's
first
check it out,
what
baby.
we
Let's check
have.
it out.
We have our next matchup coming up. Team Martinez, Joey versus Charlie 27, Carlos Escalera.
Hmm.
We have right now it's a 41 to 59 projection rating with Charlie in favorite, 133.4 points. Hold up the phone. Like I said, we got to check these other rosters out versus
Damn.
110.4. So let's go and look into depth with Charlie why he's projected so high. 133. That's more than Eddie's team.
Dude, Jalen
Jalen
Hurts,
Hurts,
Kenny Walker,
Walker,
Devontae, who's that? Marquise Brown.
Brown.
And then, well, Hopkins. Dude, I can't like be comfortable with Hopkins because of Tannehill. I just don't trust Tannehill, dude. I just don't trust him. But I guess he has to throw the ball at someone, right? And it's gonna be Hopkins.
And let's not forget,
Or
Hopkins did have a big game last game for
yeah,
11 targets, 8 catches, 140 yards, 22 points, and that's with no touchdowns. Let's see if Hopkins start getting some touchdowns in. He'll start being consistent on points.
oh yeah, and then, dude, honestly, Kemet, Kemet is balling. Kemet is balling. Now that Fields is kind of doing his thing, he's looking for more. If Moore's not there, then he checks down to Kemet automatically. And then dude, he's a big ass machine, 6'6", in the red zone. Like, to knock him down, it's gonna be hard. Like,
Hard.
he's
Hard.
a big target. That's why he gets all those touchdowns that he's getting these past couple of weeks,
Oh, yeah.
because they're automatically just going to him. Easy touchdown right there. So that's a nice sleeper tight
That's
end
a
right there.
nice super type. So let's
Yeah.
see what Joey has on his team. Josh Allen versus the Giants. He's gonna
Yeah.
face in
That's
that
a good
game. Derrick
matchup.
Henry, we just talked about. We think Derrick Henry's time's done, so we don't know. He has Gibbs. Gibbs right now is behind Montgomery, so fortunately he won't get the points unless
Yeah.
Montgomery goes down. Godwin, we already said we don't know because Baker's favorite target right now is currently Mike Evans.
Yeah.
But hey, if Mike Evans goes out, we don't know. Maybe Chris Godwin puts in another good performance. Jerry
Exactly.
Judy, Broncos in
Bro,
general.
no.
Okay, so I'll say this: every other Bronco not named Russell Wilson, because I will
Uh-huh.
say this: Russell Wilson is consistent in fantasy.
Yeah.
He has been consistent in fantasy, so we know that. But everyone else is just
They're
uh,
shaky, bro. They're
iffy,
shaky.
iffy. He has the best tight end in Sam Laporta, so
Yes,
we know he
sir.
can get his points. This I feel like is a hidden gem that will eventually be shown. Joshua Palmer, right now,
Yep.
because Williams tore his ACL out for the season. Remember what Josh? No one remembers what Joshua Palmer did last season when Williams was out, when Keenan Allen was out. He was that guy. He was getting
Yeah.
11, 12 targets a game. He was dropping 20 points casually. No one knew
Yep.
because, hey, he was outside the top 20. I think now that Williams out of the equation, Palmer there, everyone knows Eckler, Keenan Allen. Let's get those guys. But they
Yeah.
don't know the big boy is 6'5", Josh Palmer. I think he's a hidden
Exactly.
gem. He's
Bro,
only projected, let's see, he's only projected 11.6 points. I think Palmer's going to have possibly more than 20.
damn. Oh yeah, real quick, for since I used to own Mike Williams, but hey, that dude went out with a bang. I think he got me like 24 or 29 points, something like that, on his last game. But man, I'm gonna miss that dude, bro. Like, I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm like, damn. But hopefully, Josh Palmer, hey, he steps up to the plate and he performs. He makes some big plays. They have to throw to somebody else other than Keenan Allen.
Yeah. They do. So let's see these guys' bench. I see right here Charlie. He has Najee Harris. It's not cut it. He's losing his reps to Warren.
Dude, honestly, if I would have that guy, I'd probably drop his ass. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
Jalen Warren is the man of the
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm. Scary Terry, more like non-scary
uh,
Terry. Besides the Eagles game,
no,
he has not done anything.
yeah,
Kincaid, Not good of a reliable tight end. Have other favorite targets. Kevin Bourne from the or Kendrick Bourne, excuse me. He has not really put up a game besides the Eagles game where he dropped 24. After that, he hasn't scored more than 10. Out
Dude,
of
and it's Mac Jones, dude. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Mac Jones, but he's not. He's been getting benched a couple times this year already, dude.
Yep.
What's going on there?
He has Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford, I don't think. Well, he started off good after Nick Chubb with 24 and 19 points. He did 9 against Baltimore's defense, which is an all right defense. Now he faces the 49ers defense. I don't think Ford's going to be there. Keep him on your bench for
Yeah,
this week.
yeah. Leave him on the bench, bro.
Yep. Then he has Jeffrey Jefferson, but unfortunately he's on IR, so he can't
Ah,
touch him. So his bench is not pretty. That's all I can say. His bench is not pretty.
man.
Now we can look over to Joey's bench. He has David Njoku. Njoku, I feel like, was the only player to benefit with Deshaun Watson not being out. He was still getting his 7 targets, 6 catches for 46 yards. So Njoku, he might have burned his face and shit. He might be a different type of man. Now this guy has Jalen Warren. I think, hey, you keep this guy on your bench. I
Yeah.
think his value will increase up. So that's good. He has him. Antonio Gibson, I would like to stash him away just in case if Brian Robinson does get hurt. This could be a stasher right here. So I would hold on to Gibbs, especially having his receiver hands knowledge. I think Gibson, if case Brian Robinson gets hurt, Gibson could be that man to replace immediately and get those 15 or
Hmm.
20 points. You have a Chan. Man, he just got put on IR. He was balling,
Yeah, he was.
balling, balling. He was amazing. Unfortunately, he's gonna miss these next 4 games. Hopefully, you get him back, and hopefully, he can win a spot back because that spot in Miami, I feel like it's anyone's game. You can win
Oh
it.
yeah,
If
bro.
you get hurt, you can lose it.
And that's for T Martinez, right?
Yes,
And I bet you anything that first win he got it because of him.
I bet
Because he's currently 1-4, right?
1-4. Last week he dropped 129, but he didn't win because Strati with a chance of balls dropped 172 points.
Oh God,
That is
dang.
terrible. So he got his first win in week 4 when he scored 116 points. So
Oh
he scored
man,
13 points less and he
yeah.
won. But because he went against somebody that dropped nearly 180, he lost. Tough. Tough.
That's
Tough.
tough, man. That is tough.
That is tough.
That is tough. Who
So
do you think is gonna win this matchup?
I really see Charlie just winning this matchup.
Yeah, right. He's gonna roll through.
You know,
Even if Laporta puts points, even if Josh Allen shows up, even if Evans shows up and they lock him up and Godwin gets points, yeah, Charlie's winning this.
yep, agreed. All right. On to we got 3 more matchups. We got right here the upcoming matchup with Team Papa and Sutton D's. Right now it's a 53-47, so it's gonna be a kind of a tight one. 113 and 107 in favor of Team Papa, Miguel Ayala. So let's see. We like we said, we already know about Mahomes. We already know
Yeah,
what he's gonna do. We don't have to worry about that. As I said before, I think Kamara's the star man right now in New Orleans. I think he gets everything.
yep,
Brian Robinson, if Washington keep it close, he will get his points.
exactly.
AJ Brown, he has to outbeat Sauce Gardner in order to get his points. If he doesn't, there's that. Tyler Boyd with the return of T. Higgins. If T. Higgins is out, even then so, I don't think Tyler Boyd's even relevant.
Yeah, no.
George Kittle just had an amazing game versus the Cowboys. But he is inconsistent. I will say
Yeah,
that.
he's a
Very
scary player to put on every week, dude. You don't know what you're gonna get out of him. You don't know.
I don't know. So we don't know how George Kittle's going to do this week. He has Justice Hill, that running back core. So on paper they do good. Their yards per carry they average like 4.5, and 5 yards. But
Yeah,
fantasy wise, they don't score touchdowns really. So you
yeah,
don't really get too much. So
dude.
I don't
Like,
really
why?
care about
Why
that.
do I feel like whenever they have a mobile quarterback in the system, the running backs that they have as like pues sí, in the backfield, right? They don't perform that good. But it's because you have the quarterback that's a dual threat. He can throw and he can run.
Mm-hmm.
So any any team that has a quarterback that can move, their running backs aren't gonna perform. Unless they're a pocket passer, then you know they're
The
gonna
only
thrive.
one that I can say that even though he has one of the best dual threat quarterbacks along him and he's still
Yeah,
dropping yards and he's still getting those points is DeAndre
yeah,
Swift.
okay,
Even if Jalen Hurts still would move out the pocket, he's the one
yeah,
getting the touchdowns. DeAndre Swift is averaging almost over 100 yards a game. So that's
okay,
already 10 points right there. Let's give
yeah,
him his receptions. Each reception, he's averaging 5. That's 1 point. And we're not even
yeah.
considering the yards. So that's already 15 points right there for DeAndre Swift. So he's, I believe, the only one that is truly benefiting.
Other than that, dude, it's hard because, pues yeah, the quarterback's taking those points away.
Correct. Yeah. So let's see our Gale. Sutton D's is Gale Gonzalez. Right here, he has Justin Fields. He's gonna have a big game against Minnesota. I see it coming.
Yeah,
Christian McCaffrey, like I said, we already know what he's gonna do. Number one running back out there. He has Khalil Herbert out there. I know you're a Chicago fan. Khalil Herbert is more likely gonna be out for some time, huh?
yeah, he's not gonna be in, dude. No Khalil Herbert,
No Khalil
no
Herbert.
Roshan Johnson. So then it's gonna be Deontay Foreman. So if I was him, I don't know how his bench looks, but if he has
So
those players, I'll drop one, pick up Deontay Foreman.
let me tell you his players right here. Actually, his players. He has Chris Olave.
Hmm.
He has Javante Williams, which he could get back from injury. He has Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas. He has Jameson Williams, and he also has Quentin Johnson.
So no other choices other than Jamison Williams, basically.
Yep,
Dang, and dude, going tomorrow against Kansas City, that's gonna be tough.
it is going to be
Gonna
tough.
be tough. But you don't have another choice. If he can pick up Deontay Foreman, pick him up. If not, just throw in Post Javante, right?
Let's look at his rest of his lineup. He has Metcalf. He has Nakua. We talked about Amari Cooper for Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson. He's not going to do much. His tight end is Tyler Higbee. Higbee really hasn't shown up as previous
Nah,
years.
he's been quiet.
This one's a really close matchup, in my opinion. This is closer than what the projections seem
Hmm.
it to be. I think personally, it comes down the one factor player that decides who wins this matchup is if AJ Brown outbeats Sauce Gardner. If he
Yeah,
does, I think Miguel takes this matchup. If he doesn't, I think Sutton D's Nuts comes and takes it over.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I do think that Sutton will end up winning this because, like you say, Fields is expected to have a monster game against Minnesota. McCaffrey is McCaffrey. He has Nakua, which they're going against Arizona. So they show up, they play, dude. He's gonna be fine. And honestly, take out Khalil Herbert, put in Foreman, or put in Javante, and he'll barely clear. But like you say, the fact that AJ Brown has to go against Garner, if he can outproduce him, if he can outbeat him in the routes, then Team Papa will win this game.
Team Papa will win. So we will see. We shall see this one. Whew, we got another one right here. We got Team Luhan Josue versus Petty Cash Joseph, who decided to go, remember, in
Oh
both leagues. So he is
God.
participating in both. He put his money where his mouth's at. So we'll see. Right now, Joseph is projected to win 100. It's a 54-46 projection rating
God.
in Joseph's favorite. 127.9 points. So we might have another contender in this league right here with Prado.
That's true.
With Josue for only 115.7. So let's dig deep first into Joseph's roster. Lamar Jackson. And we've talked about this before the podcast. So Lamar Jackson right now is ranked 10th in fantasy. He could easily be top 3 if his
Oh yeah.
skill players, if his receivers could catch the fucking ball.
Oh yeah.
So they go against Tennessee. Tennessee have a hard front seven. They do have that great 4 line rushers, and you also have their 3 linebackers. They play a 4-3. I do know that for a fact. But they are soft in the secondary.
but but
Are soft in the secondary. So, like I just said, his skill players sold for him. So this week they
yeah,
can redeem themselves. If they do redeem themselves, they catch their passes and they dropped all red zone passes that were leading to touchdowns. So if they
yeah,
can go and fix their mistakes, catch those touchdowns, I think Lamar has a big game coming up for him.
that's very true.
We just said Tony Pollard. We don't know about Dallas offense, but Chargers are terrible against the run. They're terrible against the pass. They're terrible against pretty much anything. They're probably terrible against a fucking kicker. Who knows? But see Tony Pollard probably coming in and probably do his thing if they plan it out right. I could see that. We have James Cook out here. He's right now projected 16th, but honestly, I think he's more of a flex player if I'm being
Yeah,
really
he
honest.
shouldn't
Even
even
though
be.
he's playing against
Okay.
the Giants defense, I
Uh-uh.
the Bills are known for throwing the ball.
Yep.
No, I don't think running backs truly benefit out of their play system. So James Cook could probably go in 15 points, 12 to 15.
Dude, I feel like he might get about 10.
10?
Yeah, I like you say, running backs don't thrive in Buffalo. They don't.
They
They're a
don't.
passing system. That's what they do.
Yep. So we have that. We also have Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett coming back. I think it's either him or DK as the best receiver out there. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I think it's more DK. Yeah, I've seen that because right now Tyler Lockett only had one good game, and that was against Detroit, where he had 8 catches for 59 yards and 2 touchdowns. The other 3 games didn't even go past 10. So I don't know what Tyler Lockett we get. They're just getting fresh off a bye.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens right now. I don't know really how much Tyler Lockett is going to drop. So let's just say for right now, he's going to be at that range of the 13.8
I
points.
feel like he's definitely slowing down, dude. He's not the Tyler Lockett from previous years
Yeah.
where he was balling. I think like DK Metcalf has settled in as a receiver one. He's just there as a receiver two, just like as a little safety blanket, whenever DK isn't there. So
Correct.
yeah,
This guy has KJ Osborne. KJ
we'll see,
Osborne
dude.
2 years ago when Adam Thielen got hurt and it was Justin Jefferson's rookie year. I remember he was the guy to rescue them. He was
Yeah,
that slot receiver. But after they got Hawkinson, you can see even though he's a receiver, but he's a slot receiver, so you see his work in the middle disappear because obviously Kirk Cousins is going to focus on Hawkinson in the middle. Then you go out and get Jordan Addison.
that's true.
I, this one is a hit or miss. Either he's going to do it or he's not going
Or
to do
he's
it.
not. Yeah.
So let's say he goes right now for his projected 12.9, but I think realistically it's either, hey, I get 18 points or more, or I get 5 points or less. So I
God.
really don't know with KG Osborne. They
Yeah.
are going to have to plan properly, and the way Minnesota's going, I think they did just shit the bed. But they do have a good matchup against Chicago's defense,
Yeah.
so we'll
And
see
you know what,
what
dude?
happens.
The Bears haven't had their secondary complete at all this season. This week will be the first week that they get all their secondary back. If the head coach can make those defensive adjustments that he needs, dude, they keep running that Tampa 2 and that zone defense, and it's just not it, dude. It's not it. They get exposed so easy.
Yep,
So,
yep, they
like you
do.
say, we'll see what happens, dude. He either performs or he doesn't. So, out of both teams, dude, who do you think will win this matchup?
Well, let's see, because I see that Kelsey, because we didn't go over Josue's team. I
Oh
see
yeah,
that
that's true.
Josue has Burrow. Like we said, we just saw Burrow go off. I believe Rashad White, he does have a better game. Saquon's coming back, but we don't know what Saquon we're expecting, but he does have Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase, like Jamar Chase says, he is always open.
He's always open.
He's always open. So we don't know. And like I said, he has Devontae Smith on his flex.
Yeah,
So I think Devontae Smith has a better game than AJ Brown. It's leaning towards Petty Cash, but you know what? I'm gonna be risky and I'm gonna go with the underdog. I think Team Luhan has the upright, and I think he takes this week against Prado.
damn. Honestly, dude, now that you see it and you start seeing like who they're facing and who they're going and who he has with Gus Edwards, you don't know what the hell you're gonna get with that. KJ Osborne, that's a dart throw. James Cook, you don't know what you're gonna get either. Tyler Lockett is just quiet. Dallas defense being shaky. I'm gonna have to go with Luhan as well.
Yep, I
Yep.
agree with you on that. Glad we can come in agreeing terms. And
Yep.
I noticed, I've been seeing a lot of fantasy trades with him. I've seen Team Martinez. I also seen Team Eddie do some trades that move around the players. So we'll
Yeah.
see. And not to notice, Team Luhan has a decent bench. He has Jonathan Taylor, Damian Pierce, Tank Dell, and he just required Jeff Wilson. Hey,
Wow.
he can make some love. He also
Yeah.
has Jordan Love as
As a
a
backup.
quarterback, as a backup. And Jordan Love didn't have the best of games, but I think that's just one game. Little
Yeah.
rust. I think Jordan Love's still a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah. So we're going with the underdog on this one.
I'm going with the underdog. And this now we're on our last matchup.
Oh
Last
baby.
matchup of Division Two. We have Papa G, Eric Rocha versus Team Montes, Alejandro. Hi, Alejandro. So it is a 54-46 matchup in favor of Papa G, 119 to 112. I don't think this is a 54-46 projection. It should be more of a 52-48, maybe 51-49. But
Yeah.
let's dig deep in and let's see what players each team has. So I see quarterback wise, Kirk Cousins, which Kirk Cousins has been doing pretty good. But then Alejandro has Montes. This is going to be a tight QB race to see who's going to get more points. Both have great matchups. You have
Yeah,
Kirk
they
Cousins
do.
versus Chicago, but you have Herbert versus Dallas. I don't know who scores the most points. I see both of these quarterbacks getting more than 23
Yeah.
points.
Easy, dude.
Yeah.
Easy. More than 20 points. Easy.
Let's look at the running backs. We have Joe Mixon. We just said not too long ago, Joe Mixon. He's kind of been like this. He hasn't been popping off. He hasn't been bad. We don't know what's going to have for that. But I see Tony Montes has Raheem Mostert. With Achin out right now, Mostert's that
He's
guy.
gonna eat.
He is going to eat for sure. We have Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson. So stat wise, he has been amazing. He is doing
Yeah.
amazing plays. He hasn't certainly converted it into fantasy points necessarily. Last week, I don't think he got a lot. He had, the last 3 weeks, 10, 18, and 11.
Hmm.
So it hasn't been crazy amount of points, but we could see him run the ball against Washington. We don't
Yeah.
know. We saw Chicago run the ball pretty well
Yeah.
against
And they were
Washington.
running the ball pretty good, dude, until
They
they
were
started falling down.
down.
So now they get Bijan Robinson. I think he'll have a game. Easy.
Easy. And then we have Deontay Foreman, the only Chicago running back that's not hurt. I think he has a good game against Minnesota. I think
Yeah.
Minnesota is like the Chargers, cannot defend for anything.
Yeah.
And then we have
My boy
Nico
Nico.
Collins and Garrett Wilson. As an Eagle fan, I can say that our secondary is kind of iffy right now, so I could see Garrett Wilson possibly getting some points here. His projection's 14.8. I could see him probably hitting 15 or more on this one. Nico Collins, I
That
don't
that
know right
Saints
now.
secondary, dude. It's not all stars, but it's solid. They'll get the job done.
And if I'm looking right now, Nico Collins is going 14, then he shoots up to 35, then he drops to 5, then
Yeah.
he shoots up to 35, but then he
And then
drops to
boom.
6.9.
Yeah.
So he's on a roller coaster. Is this
Uh
the week
huh.
that he goes up? I don't think this
I
is the
don't
week
think
that he
so.
goes up.
No, not
No,
against the
not this
Saints.
matchup. Mm-mm.
Damn.
So let's see. We got Nico Collins. Who else do we have after that?
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen versus Brandon Ayuk. Depends if Purdy throws to Ayuk. Ayuk can reach the same amount of point at Thielen.
Yeah.
That this is a close one too. This is another close matchup. I don't know who takes that.
Goddard or Hawkinson?
Goddard to go to
Hawkinson, dude.
tight end, but give me Hawkinson all day. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be the number one overall tight end by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think
And
so. Let's go down Jalen Waddle versus Jay
Josh
Downs,
Downs.
Josh Downs. Josh Downs has been the up and coming supposedly receiver out of the Colts, the hitting guy that's getting the targets, that's getting the
Yeah.
catches, that's getting the points. So he could be a possibility. He went against the Titans secondary, which is all right, but he got all six targets for 97
Hmm.
yards. Now he's going against Jacksonville. He possibly could get those same numbers. We'll see what happens. It's a division game, so division games tend to get close. But you have Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, I believe, coming off a fabulous game, actually, or mediocre game. He had 10 targets, but only five catches for 35 yards and one touchdown. So that was 14 points. He is
No.
going against Carolina, though.
Yeah.
Carolina is the only team in the NFL that has not won a single game.
And that's the scary part, dude. If Miami gets the lead early and they just blow Carolina off, they're gonna run the ball and just run the clock down, dude.
Yep.
Unless they want to put 70 like they did to Denver, then that's another story.
Yeah. I think
Oh
again,
god.
this is another tight spot. It's gonna match down. I see that team Montes probably has the favorite with the 49ers defense at Cleveland, especially if Sean Watson doesn't play. For
Hmm.
backup quarterback, that's really gonna hurt Cleveland, and 49ers are
Yeah.
gonna take advantage of that as he has the Bengals defense. But the Seahawks are not a team to throw down the dust and wipe them off. They are up right there. They could possibly right behind the 49ers. We don't know. We shall see. That's a close one. I think that might unfortunately be a shootout, which won't benefit the Bengals defense points.
Yeah.
So,
That's very true. Dude,
game
it's
two.
close, dude. It's close, honestly.
And then kicker wise, they have Zerloin at the Jets. If the Jets don't score touchdowns against us, then he could possibly get his points. But then you have Jake Moody, and the 49ers are always moving the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
This, if
Ah,
I'm being
that's gonna be
honest,
tough, dude, eh?
this might be almost a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah. I wanna say that Montes is gonna take the win. And you know why? I
Why
feel
not?
like Miami's gonna roll and they're gonna get the lead early, which means they feed the ball to Mostert.
Mm-hmm.
Now, second thing is Herbert, he gets Austin Eckler back. He has Keenan Allen. They get to rest. They get to get their stuff ready, and they're gonna roll against Dallas.
Yep.
And then, like you say, San Francisco going against Cleveland. No Deshaun Watson. They ain't going nowhere. Jeff Moody. I think the kicker itself is gonna put like 10 to 12 points by himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think that Ayuk has a good game too, so I feel like Montes is gonna take this and it's gonna be a close game.
Close game. Well,
Yeah.
here we go. So that's Division Two's Week 6 matchups. Out of all the rosters, we see some really great rosters so far in Division Two. Who do you think takes it?
Dude, the guy who's in number one right now, that guy is it's Robert, right? He's stacked, dude. But you know what? It's gonna be a nail biter because I do want to see how the season unveils, and I do want to see where Eddie Torres goes because
Okay.
he is stacked, dude. Now that Cooper Cup is back, he made those trades. He's gonna be in the uptrend, and
He got Cooper Cup back, and guess who else he got back? He got Eckler back.
yeah,
That is huge. Those are
yeah,
former number ones at their spots. That is
yeah,
huge. He might go on a huge incline where he's just winning
yeah,
and winning and
just
winning and
rolling, bro.
winning, rolling. I think if it goes down to Isaac and Eddie, it just depends who their players match up against what
Yeah,
defense.
yeah. So like we talked about earlier, this matchup that they have upcoming this weekend, I feel like this is going to be a preview of the championship or a third, fourth place match. Like
Mhm.
that they got there to the end. I don't know. I do feel like they both have really strong teams and they're both going to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. But damn, dude, like two divisions that we went through, we talked in depth about everybody's roster, talked about the records, talked about who's going to get the blow dolls. We got a pretty long video that we went
Yeah.
through.
Hour and a half.
Yep. But those are all the stats. Tomorrow, Thursday night game, right? Who we got? We got Kansas City against Denver.
Denver.
So I'm honestly not too bad that I'm gonna miss it now that I see the matchup because it's gonna be pretty easy.
Really?
So that's about it, dude.
Yes,
Anything else
sir.
that we got?
I think that's it as far as week 6. And we probably
Okay.
won't do this every week, but we'll probably go back, probably go like another 3, 4 weeks later, and let's see what happens. Let's see if Eddie does go and gets on the incline. Let's see if Isaac keeps winning. Let's see if he's still undefeated by then.
Damn. We'll see. Do we see what players trend up, what players trend down? Any other trades that happen? Any trades that get vetoed? We'll see, dude.
We'll see.
Oh man, we see what chess moves happen.
Yes, sir.